everyone. Sarah Barnes-Humphrey here of Let's Talk Supply Chain, live at Breakbulk and Project Cargo with Marco. Marco, how you doing?
Fantastic. It's been an amazing conference so far.
What has been the best part?
The opportunities and the scale of capital projects that are coming up the next 3, 5 years, 7 years are just amazing, and many people are all talking about it here.
I love to hear that. I mean, there's a little bit of chaos going on maybe with tariffs, but don't tell anybody. For anybody who doesn't know who you are, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I'm Marco Poisler, Chief Operating Officer for Global Energy and Capital Projects at UTC Overseas. It's a project transportation company headquartered in Houston, Texas, with 50 offices around the world. That's my day job. I also have been teaching project logistics at the University of Houston for the past 4 years, published a textbook on project logistics. And also now my second year of doing a doctorate at the UH Bauer Business School and focused on AI adoption in the Maritime Center.
So next time I see you, I'll be able to say, Dr. Marco?
It's not too many in our industry, yes, but I
right.
don't advertise that because it can work against you in our business.
Well, we're advertising it today. And hopefully the next time I see you, I will be able to say Dr. Marco.
I hope so too.
So UTC is one of the largest global forwarders that is handling, heavy lift and project cargoes. So talk to us about the uncertainty in trade and geopolitics. Like, what is the company's sort of global scope on all of that?
Well, I've had the advantage of going, for example, to a number of conferences like Sarah Week and see the vision of what is happening in the global energy. And here in North America, what we see is the data centers and the tremendous energy demand. There's not enough energy. I had a session this morning on AI on that. Mm-hmm. Globally, though, the supply chain, we can't ignore it with Asia and specifically China, and it's the workshop of the world. Mm-hmm. And so these tariffs are having a questionable impact of where's the supply chain. So that may delay some of the investment that we see, and that's a disruption. But overall, there's tremendous optimism, at least for the next 3 years, on meeting the demand for global energy.
I love to hear that. Although I think there is a lot more opportunity than maybe challenge. And I want to talk to you about the panel discussion that you had this morning about technology. Talk to us about some of the opportunities that are coming with technology tools, platforms for freight forwarders and shippers alike.
So what we covered is sort of an intro to AI and what we see with ChatGPT and Grok and Claude AI and all these large language models. And I put up a chart where you could see a rat brain, where we are today with ChatGPT-4, and the human level, and whether we'll achieve singularity, the human brain. And it was a very smart question in the audience saying, why is that chart not going straight up? And he hit exactly the reason: the supply of global energy. There's not enough equipment, the supply chain, and many OEMs at this conference say the same thing. They say this is another 5 years just to meet the demand. It takes tremendous energy to produce the data centers that we see now, right, and the construction that's happening all over, and they all need power generation. So we see the renaissance of the nuclear energy that will create new cargo opportunities. Gas turbines are very much in demand today.
That's an interesting point. It's not something that I generally talk about, is sort of that energy consumption and the fact that we aren't even close to being there to be able to utilize some of the technology that is necessarily out there. But I think adoption is taking its time. I know we need to adopt it, but I also think that it's taking its time. We have to be able to trust it, right? And I just don't think, I'm not sure we're there yet.
Trust is a great word, because trust in technology, and we use this example: if you do a Google search on your cold medicine and the symptoms, whether you have, suddenly you get these ads, and that's something we covered in the session this morning about security and cybersecurity risks. The more data we have, the risk for companies that you have employees trying to look good in ChatGPT and improve their letter is suddenly putting confidential data on there. Yeah. So there's risk and reward. I mean, but in general, the reward is so great, we need to know how to manage that risk.
So, talk to us about how you are currently using AI to benefit your customers at UTC.
Well, I have a number of strict NDAs with our firm.
I was going to say, if you can share.
Yes, if I can share. Unfortunately, I can't share, but I can just tell you that we have now a number of full-time AI data graduates, recent graduates, that are focused on integrating our existing systems and providing customers with solutions for that. And it's extremely cutting edge. And I think we'll be able to share in the next 6 months some of what will be visible to the marketplace. Having said that, I'd like to wear my University of Houston Bauer Human-Centered AI Institute hat. I am part of the faculty team of that. And I've been invited in that role with senior leadership from a major container line, invited us to their leadership session to share where AI is going, how it applies to the maritime industry. And it's interesting to see that this will be an annual session at many conferences, because it's applying AI is so new and so revolutionary in so many ways that it will be a topic that we will be talking about for a long time.
Well, and in saying that, I think sometimes AI and especially technology can be overwhelming to supply chain professionals, supply chain leaders, not entirely sure how to navigate that. Do you have any advice for those that are navigating through
I
it?
have a reading list that
Okay.
I had the fortune of Breakbulk Americas had a workshop, an 8-hour workshop, and I will be at Breakbulk Rotterdam with the Europeans. There are some, Stanford has a great human-centered. There are a number of key individuals out there that are translating what that all means to us as individuals, to businesses. But in the maritime space, since we are at a Breakbulk conference, I've been following particularly the Europeans and the Norwegians. They do have autonomous technology, and they're very rigorous in the language, whether it's AI assisted, and autonomous, defining what they mean on a vessel. What's interesting example are the Norwegians with DNV has approved that the chief engineer can, for certain types of vessels, it's very specific, can actually remotely operate the ship. There's a Norwegian firm opening up in Houston. The Europeans are far advanced in work-life balance. And so you have the chief engineer with all the right sensors on board, is working in an office, goes home, and picks up the kids in a very European work-life balance. So it's that ultimately is where even the maritime industry will eventually get there. The Norwegians also have an autonomous container ship that is going between the ports without a single person on board.
As long as it's secure, right?
Secure,
Because
yeah.
we don't want anybody taking that over and sending it to, nefarious other places.
Security, and Homeland Security has CISA. At CERAWeek, I had the fortune to listen to the new director. And transportation, like energy, is one of the key industries that cybersecurity, and that's why we shared this morning. I mean, putting all our data up there makes us very vulnerable. And of course, like everything, if you pay for a service, at least you know what you're buying in terms of security. But in this stage, just like Facebook, just like Google, we're a victim of data mining. Right?
And we have room for those regulations to catch up.
Yes.
Right? I think we've got a long way to go on that.
Or less regulatory, but the market, right? The more educated consumers we are out there, I mean, this is where ultimately businesses have to worry about. There's a cost to being efficient at some point, because yes, it outweighs the cost for that. And these are relatively minor cost investments to make sure that your staff is trained and understanding that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a baseline for that. We got to start somewhere, but we need to make sure that everybody knows the implications and what their level of security that they're responsible for in an organization as well. And I think organizations are getting there. I don't think we're all there yet. Right?
Exactly.
Well, Marco, thank you so much for joining me here at Breakbulk and Project Cargo.
My pleasure. Thank you.